In Lesson 4 on the parking lot revenue report, we are going to give the prices that the parking lot makes for our Excellent Adventures Park. So I've typed in all my data, which you should do first. And if you don't type the data in the right cells, like in B8, if you don't have 5, if you skip a column or row and you put it in the wrong spot, your formulas are not going to work, because when we get over here and we're in D8 and we're entering a formula to multiply these two, it's not going to work because you didn't put it in the right spot. So as you're typing, please make sure that you have all of your data in the right column and in the right row. So make sure you've changed your year in cell A3 to be current to 2014. Now we're going to select A1 and A3 and format it to bold. So if I'm going to select A1 and A3, I'm going to hold down the control button and select more than one. I can select ever how many I want. A1 and A3, and we're going to hit bold and 14 point. Now we're going to select cell A2 and format it for italics. We're going to select cells A1 through N1 all the way across, and we're going to merge and center align the text. So I want this whole entire thing to be the title of my document. We had a lot of trouble with this on the first lesson, and then I went back and watched the tutorial video and saw, well, I didn't ask y'all to merge and center. I thought I did. So we're going to select A1 to N1. The way you do that, you click down and hold on A1, drag all the way across. Now, if you go to A1 and you grab this little plus sign right here and drag across, it's going to copy everything to the other cells. So you don't want to do that. You just click down in the middle and drag across. So now we're going to merge and center all the way across. So A1 through N1, and we're going to go right here to merge and center. Click on it once, and it puts it across the top of the whole spreadsheet. Now we're going to do A2 through N2 and merge and center. And we're also going to do the last one, A3 through N3, and merge and center. Now we're going to select rows 5, 6, and 7. So when I select more than one row at the same time, I'm going to hold down Control while I select those 3 rows, and we're going to format those to bold. So to do that, I held down Control and I clicked on row 5, 6, and 7, and then I clicked on the bold button. Now I'm going to select cells C5 through D5, and I'm going to merge and center align April. So I want this word April to go across C and D. So I'm going to hit merge and center. And now I'm going to do the same for May. And I'm going to do the same for June. I'm going to do the same for July. I'm going to do the same for August and September. Now, I want to go and put in my formulas to calculate the revenue for April. So I want to multiply the parking fee by the number of April vehicles. So here's the parking fee, and here's the vehicles. So in cell D8 for revenue, I'm going to enter B8 times C8. I always start my formula with the equal sign, and I want to calculate B8. I want to multiply by C8. Remember, you can also click on the cells to calculate that. When I hit enter, it's going to give me the amount. Now I'm going to select cell D8, and I'm going to autofill for all of D9 through D11. So just click on the little plus sign at the bottom and pull it down, and that autofills it for me. So then in cell F8, we're going to enter B8 times E8. Trying to figure out the best way to tell y'all to do this. Let's just go ahead and hit the equal sign, put our formula in. So now the parking fee is always $5. And then we're going to multiply by how many vehicles we had in May, and then hit enter. Then we're going to select the cell that has my formula in it. Up here in the formula bar you can see my formula. Oops, I don't know what I just did. Don't do that. And now I'm going to go to the bottom right and autofill all the way down. And I'm going to do that across the spreadsheet for all of my cells that I want these formulas in. And I'm going to autofill all the way down. And I bet some of you are already looking at this and thinking, oh, those need to look like money. We'll do that in a minute. Oops, don't need to add. Remember to pull down and autofill. That way you don't have to enter all those formulas over and over again. It's always $5 for the season pass. And then on these, it's pulling, instead of doing B8, it's changing it to B9, it's changing it to B10, it's changing it to B11 in each one of these formulas. And probably if we were mean teachers, we'd make y'all type it in by hand so you could remember what that was. But that would take too long. Now we're going to select cell F8. And we're going to use the autofill for F11. We've already done that. We just did all of that in number 13. Number 14, to calculate the totals by month for each customer type in April, add the total number of April vehicles. So in cell C13, we're going to add up how many vehicles that we have in C8 through C11. So we always start our formula with an equal sign. To add, we're going to use the word sum. We're going to open our parentheses, and then we're going to choose C8 through C11. Then you close your parentheses and hit enter, and that's going to sum up how many vehicles I have. Now we're going to select cell C13, and we're going to use this formula in D13 through N13. So I pulled my little bar, my autofill, all the way across, and I filled all those up with the same formula. To calculate the total number of vehicles for the year, we're going to add the total number of vehicles for each month. So here's my total for the year. So in cell B16, we're going to enter C, or you can read these for yourself. I'm going to enter them for you. B16, we're going to do equals. We're going to add. What are we going to add? We're going to add C13 plus E13 plus G13 plus I13 plus K13 plus M13. And then we're going to close our parentheses and we're going to hit enter. And then for the total revenue, we're going to add the revenue for each month. So in B17, we're going to do the same thing, except this time we're going to use the money part of it. So we're going to do equals. And I always do sum because that's the way I was taught. If we do each one of these, let's see if it'll work. Oh, I didn't want to do that. So I'm going to do D13 plus F13 plus H13 plus J13 plus L13 plus N13. Yep, it does it too. So you don't actually have to put the word sum there. Now we're going to select non-adjacent cells. That means the cells are not next to each other. And this is really bothering me with the currency, so I'm glad that we're going to do that on this step. Hold on just a minute. Hey!
Hey, I'm trying to...
On number 18, we want you to select non-adjacent cells. So we're going to click on the first one, like B8, and then we're going to hold down Control. So we're going to do B8, 9, 10, 11, D8 through 13, F8. And the whole time I'm selecting these, I'm holding down the control button so that it will pick all of them up. And you notice we're only doing the revenue part. We're not doing the vehicles because that's not money. I'm holding down control, and once I select every one of those, I'm going to format as currency with 2 decimal places. And most of the time that is your default with the 2 decimal places. You really don't have to change that. Now we're going to select cell A15, and we're going to format it to bold at 14 point because they're trying to say, oh, well, this is important. This is your totals for the whole year. Now we're going to select non-adjacent rows. So again, I'm going to have to hold down control. We're going to select row 13, hit control, select 16, and select 17. And I'm going to make all of these bold because those are my totals. Now, what happened to this information right here? Well, the column width is not large enough to show all those numbers. So I'm going to go in between E and F. I'm going to double click and make it larger. Same thing over here with the other one. Somebody's gone, Alexis. When he comes back, you can go. Sorry. Now we're going to select the following cells containing vehicle information, and we're going to fill it to aqua or a light shade of blue of your choice. So I'm on number 21. So I'm going to select C8 through C13. And then you go up here to the fill color button, and I'm going to choose the first aqua one. And then E8 through E13. And each one of those I'm just going to fill with that same color, G8 through G13. If you hit the fill button, it does it for you now that you've selected one color. And I could probably do all these at the same time by holding down control, but it's just so pretty. And M8 through M13. And our B16 is our total vehicles. So we're going to select that one also. Then we're going to select the non-adjacent cells containing revenue information, so the money we make, and we're going to format it to light gray. So we're going to do D8 through D13. And this time we're going to go to the fill color and change the color. Let's do this one. Or you can choose any one you want, as long as you can kind of see that it's gray. F8 through F13. I'm going to hit the fill color and it does it automatically for me. Sorry, y'all. J8 through J13. Hey. Okay, maybe nobody will call me again. So now we're going to, I don't remember where I was. Now we're going to format this to gray. And we're going to format this to gray. And a lot of times when it does that, y'all freak out. Don't freak out. Just go over here and scroll it back over. And then we're also going to highlight B17 with the gray color. Now we're going to select cells C11 through N11. So we're going to scroll all the way across and apply a bottom border. So when you want to apply a border, you go to the font tab up here and you want to hit the drop down button and you select bottom border, and that gives you what it looks like, almost like an equal sign, you know, like at the bottom of a problem that you're working out. And then we're going to do C13 through N13, and this time we want a double bottom border. So you just go here, bottom double border. Whew, if you got through all that, you did really good. So now we're going to save that, and when you save it, make sure you save it to your iDrive, and then you can upload it to your Google. I'm sorry, I do not want you to save that to your iDrive. No, 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 no. I want you to save that to your Jump Drive, to your Jump Drive, and then to your Google Docs. Thank you for listening. Now do your best.